What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm only taking an early look at Party Hard Tycoon. You know me, I am a big fan of the Party Hard franchise. I am not quite sure I expected when they first launched the franchise that it would run to what is now 3 games, but here we are. The second game having not been finished either, but we're now looking at sort of a preview build, maybe early access thing for Party Hard Tycoon. This is not what you would expect. If you're familiar with Party Hard, and indeed Party Hard 2, which I took a look at a couple months back on the channel, those games are mostly about murdering people. This is not. This is, as the name suggests, a management sim. There isn't much murdering going on. That's not the thing. It keeps the aesthetic of Party Hard 1, but yeah, in a weird kind of way, I almost would suggest it feels like Party Hard 1 level designer turned into a game itself. I feel like that might actually be what it is, but hey-ho. At any rate, it's strange direction to take the genre in, but nonetheless it is still a cool franchise, so we're going to take a look at this today. Very, very early build this is, so expect bugs, expect things broken, etc., you know the drill. I'm not going to continue with my existing game, because honestly I think I've stuffed it up, so I'm going to hop on into a brand new game. Basically, top right, you have a calendar up there. You have got to try and host a party on every day of the year, basically. You can skip a day if you can't host it. For each of those days has a colored dot, and that tells you kind of the quality, the grade of party that you need to be hosting. Green is the most common basic party. You can host it wherever you like. You can host it in a squat if you want. If it's on a blue day, you need to host a tier 2 party. I honestly haven't got far enough successfully into the game to get to anything like the yellow, or heaven help me, there's a red dot down there, which I presume are like tier 2 and 3. Judging by kind of the color scheme running throughout the game, it implies that later on there may even yet be sort of a pink, like a tier 5 kind of thing going on. Basically, each of those colors kind of represents a level of quality, and indeed, as it regards sort of the people living in this town, kind of a level of affluence as well. So you can see, to begin with, I've got 51 fans who are at the basic level. They'll come to my cheap parties in the squat here. Now I got 10 slightly more well-off ones. I ain't got any rich people. No rich people want to hang out at my parties just yet. And you can kind of see the dots. You can see where the people come from in this town, where they're going to come from to reach my parties. So if I were to host one well out the way out here, you know, a few people are going to turn up. If I host one right down in the middle of downtown here, where everybody is, a few more people might be able to make it to my parties. So we gotta manage those kind of figures. And I think I'm not quite sure what all these figures indicate. Possibly the maximum population that are willing to come to a party in the zones. Not 100% sure. Or what M means there. So there's that. So to begin with, we start off with a budget of 25,000. I will say it's very, very, very easy to spend all that money on stupid crap and end up not having any money and being kind of unsuccessful straight off the bat. So that's why I wanted to start a fresh game. I want to be a bit more conservative about things. We have a choice of 2 places. We can rent out a house. It will cost us 1,000. Halfway through the party, you can pay the rent a second time in order to extend the party and make it last twice as long. If you think it's going well. If you don't think it's going well, you probably shouldn't do that, as it will just cost you money in exchange for failure, mostly is what it is. So we are going to go on the cheap. We're going to rent out this squat. It is there. It is. That looks very familiar if you played Party Hard 1. That's a lot of Party Hard 1 style design. Those kind of buildings. Those kind of it's exactly the same assets really for the most part. So we can see it cost me no rent. It's a squat party. Of course, it doesn't cost me any rent. It only holds a few people. It's got a 30 electricity count, which provides power to all my devices. You draw too much power, you're not going to be able to run all your devices. Compatibility, I'm not sure what that means. That's not well explored. Again, very early, things are not well explored in this game. You kind of got to figure it out, and I haven't figured out what that means. Plus it says question mark. Check per person, don't know yet, and there's 0 hype at the minute. It's my first party. So we can pick from a few basic themes. The game will give you a few off the bats to pick from each time. As you level up by throwing successful parties, you'll unlock more themes, and you can throw more varied parties and attract different kinds of people. So we can have a drum and bass night, we can have a county-themed party, or we can have a cocktail night. I like cocktails. Let's go for a cocktail night. And it kind of gives you an idea as to kind of what the kind of party is going to be like. So you can find your love with cocktails. So you might want to try and encourage people to, you know, get romantic and amorous at a cocktail night. At a county, it looks like madness with food and fights. So you're gonna attract a different kind of people to that. Drum and bass, it's good for people who wanting to hook up and have some fun. It's a fun party. But we're gonna go with cocktails. So let's hop on through there. So you can kind of see $160 check per person. Is that how much? I don't think that's quite how much I get paid, but interesting to see how that works out. Basically, there's a door fee, and people pay for drinks when they're there, but I'm not quite sure where that figure ties into the whole thing. You have a few personnel. All my games up to now have given me 3 personnel off the bat. For some reason, it's only given me 2 this time around, so there is a random element to what you're given at the start. I have a vampire-themed waiter. We'll take him. And we have the lighting technician, who is fun. He leads people to certain places. He boosts hype for people who are standing around him, which makes your party more successful. And they provide likes. And likes are, you know, in a very real sense, kind of your XP and your progression through the game. You want people to like your parties. If people leave likes on your parties, which is very social media, but if people leave likes on your parties, you will level up and earn more things. So we can decide how much we're going to charge people in. Weirdly enough, the implication here is that the more you charge, more people will come. That almost seems counterintuitive. It's like, okay, let me just charge the most, because then the most people will come. I don't know. You'd almost feel like if you slid it right down to 0, loads of people would turn up, like crazy amounts of people would turn up, because it's a free party. You know, that sounds great. And then hopefully you'd make all your money on drinks. So again, that could be better explained, perhaps, but there we go. I'm going to charge the most, because that way, sure, we make the most money and get the most people, I think. Yes, there are Donald Trump loading screens. That's a thing. That is a thing. So this is what I would call the level designer. We have equipment. We can pick out. These are the things that are going to really wow the people. We want some sound in here. We want maybe some lights. I want to get the party going. We can put various foods and drinks in here. Some of these things are very expensive. Absolutely should not be bought at this stage. And we have some decor, which just make things look a lot better. They have stars. Stars, I guess, being hype. I presume those will be hype. So adding a bit of decor brings a bit of hype to the party. But for now, we're going to have a look at the cheap things. We're in a squat party. See, my mistake up to now is dropping $15,000 on a DJ controller. It's really, really good. But, like, within about 5 parties, you've upgraded to a better venue, and you can't take the DJ controller with you. If you invest in a venue, your stuff stays in that venue. The implication was that the game sort of implies you're making an investment, so, you know, when you've hosted your party, I guess you pack up all your equipment into a van and go off to another venue. No. If you buy things for a venue, they stay in the venue. That kind of sucks, but that's how it works. So we're going to put some speakers in, so you can see it's a sort of area of influence. Let's pop one in there. Let's pop one right about here. Can we turn that one around? There we go, so that's covering that floor. So the main room's got pretty well covered for sound across most of it, so we could get a bigger speaker. The bigger speaker would cover a bigger territory, but I don't want one of those. There's a huge speaker that fills a room, which is great. Presumably you'll want a few of those in big venues later on. The DJ controller is fantastic. It's huge. It fills a venue. It's great. Don't buy one of those off the bat. I can attest that. Just don't buy one of those off the bat. So we can put a smoke cannon in or a lighting projector. They cost the smoke cannon's not as flashy as the lighting, but it's a bit cheaper. But we can get for 50% extra. We can get double the hype. So we're definitely gonna put that in there. Let's kind of put it around where people are going to be listening to music, sort of having a bit of a dance. There we go, lighting right in the middle of the room. Okay, so we need somewhere, people are going to a party, they want drinks, right? I don't feel like many people hang around outside. Given the nature of Party Hard 1, I rather did feel like this is a good place to use, and I guess you can try to utilize it, but the guest pathfinding just generally seems to keep them inside the building. Maybe if there was like a secret doorway thing up here or something that brought them through there, maybe it would get used. I don't know. It seems to be more of a level design thing here. So we can put in a beer barrel that holds a lot of drinks, but it's a bit more pricey than the small table. The small table does not hold many drinks though, so for the most part, I think keeping even on the cheap, just having a beer barrel might well suffice here. I don't think I necessarily need a massive thing. Pop a bit of decor, and we can put an ornamental cactus in somewhere. Yeah, that's a good... I don't know, it has a sofa next to it. Does that mean it's a seat? I don't think it means it's a seat. No, because they all have sofas next to them. But, yeah, maybe these things could be classified better. They're not all sofas. Do we need some of this? These are all fairly expensive for what they are, and they don't add a lot of hype. So I think maybe we just get this party started. You can kind of see what draws power by toggling that, and you can see what provides hype by toggling those. You can see sort of over on this right-hand side, kind of... I don't entirely know how to interpret this, but it gives you a rough idea of how well you're performing. Basically, the money, I think, is how much hype people are expecting based on what they've paid, I think, and the green bar is how much hype people actually are bringing to the party. So right now people are not as hyped as they could be for the $9 they're asking to get in. I don't know. There's a good beer barrel. That's definitely a $9 beer barrel. Maybe I should put an ornamental cactus in. Who knows? Or I could drop the smoke cannon as well for an extra 1,000. That'll bring some good hype. People are expecting like 50 hype here, and I'm only bringing 40. Ooh, tricky. Let's put that. Let's do it. Let's put that in there. So it's used quite a bit of my power allowance over there. So I think we just need to get the party started. Start the cocktail party. Okay, so first things first, you want to get your waiter on any refreshments that are not filled up to begin with. You are given one waiter for free. I know the vampire is also my waiter, which is kind of sucky, because, yeah, you get given a waiter anyway. The vampire is a very, very fast, efficient, and effective waiter, but he will also chew through a lot of money as well very quickly if you let him just go around refilling tables at a whim. Because you can put some big tables in here that take like 2.5 grand to refill, and he'll just go like, hey, I have 2.5 grand to refill a table. Whoops. Alright, let's get some hype going. So we can manually control those. They've got a little timer over them that tells us how long they're going to last. I can get my staff going on. So let's have this guy put on a show. He's going to bring some hype. A vampire man can go around, serve food. Woo. Really, all he's got to do today is refill the beer barrel, which is fine. I just spotted there was like a comment up there. I guess there are thematically appropriate comments. Someone said, "Please don't take my blood." We can see where all the people are. I don't know necessarily what use this particular bit of interface is, other than just to show you where people are. Yes, I know they're people. Let's get the light show on. I don't think this party is going as well as people want it to be going. I mean, as we can see, the hype's up there. It's 52% of the hype that people expected from my party. They expected more hype. Alright, let's get some smoke on. That brings the hype. Let's get my lighting technician doing some technical lighting. My vampire, fine. You refill that. That's $80. So I've made a bit of money. I mean, I've made a couple grand out of this, if one doesn't count the investments that I made to do it. But all those things are... yeah, so I didn't go terribly well, I don't think. And I didn't go great, like, at all. 20 people turned up, 15 people? That's more than 15%, that's 75%. 75% left disappointed. Whoops! Maybe I should have invested a bit more in that. I was trying to play it a bit more conservative. It didn't work. So, next party I could go to House for Rent. We can take a different venue, kit it out with different equipment and things, and do a different thing. Or I can host it again in the squad. You do kind of seem to get ultimately diminishing returns after a few events in the same venue. If you don't keep making each party bigger and better and more crazy than the last, people eventually seem to get very disappointed that they aren't absolutely crazy insane parties, and yeah, you'll do kind of badly out of them. You'll start losing money, you won't get many likes from the parties, and it'll just generally kind of be a bit of a flop. So for my first party, that was alright. We can go again, we can load it up. I can't do the same party theme twice in a row, so we'll go drum and bass, go with that. Now, it wouldn't have cost me anything to run that last party twice as long, but it was not going very well, so it wasn't really in my interest to do that. So let's grab these, let's go for drum and bass. We'll still charge $9 in, why not? The implication is that that's good. We should probably spend more money on more cool stuff, though. If I had more staff, that would probably certainly help. I think maybe if we just had another... Could we just put another speaker in? Just to... I mean, they bring 10 hype alone, and they're fairly cheap at 500 a crack. So... I don't know where the best place to put one of those is. Could we pop one here and then sort of turn it around? Would this work? Or we could kind of pop that there. I'm just trying to maximize my area. I don't know if it's acoustically optimal, but yeah. Do not place such equipment. Wait, what? There was a tip there about that. I'm not sure what the tip was, but there we go. So we're at 40 hype. People are not expecting as much this time. People learn to lower their expectations after the first party. They're like, oh, that's just, oh, the guy that threw the crap party throwing another crap party? Oh, okay, I won't expect much from it this time. Alright, cool. Let's go. People are going to be way hyped because there's so much more music than there was before. Let's get my vamp in. Go, vamp. Refill that thing. Ultimately, I think there are much better staff. I mean, like I say, if you're catering to, if you're doing like I guess a food themed party and wants the vampire to throw a lot of food down in a short span of time, I guess that'd be pretty good. But for the most part, when you have a waiter, just I'm not really sure you need him. There are better staff members you can take. And I hope I will unlock some of them if I do well here. But yeah, let's put on a light show with him. Let's get these going. Let's crank this hype up. Woo! People are bringing 40 hype. 50 whole hype. It has 1000% of the hype people expected. People expected about 5 hype. I'm bringing 50. This is great. This is the party of the century. Vampire, please refill the barrel for $30. There's loads of people all crowding outside. I don't know if they're actually they're qualified as attendees. Oh, I've only just noticed that the color of them indicates sort of their wealth. That's just dawned on me. So this is gonna run low and we can keep partying because it's going well, so we should probably keep partying. Yeah, let's get the light going on. Cool. So it's starting to burn out a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but you know, you can always press escape and end the party earlier if you want. Yeah, these guys outside, I'm not sure if they're attendees, because basically you can get staff members who, if you send them over here, will go and tell everyone to go into the party, and they will all just go into the party. I spotted before, which is probably a good way of drumming up some cash, because at the minute these guys aren't making me any money. They're just loitering outside my building. Get hyped! You guys, you're not bringing enough hype today. I don't know that he really brings much to the party beyond, hey, have a beer, guys. He's just loitering around. He should be providing bottle service. He should be going around to my guests and, like, bringing them beer. It's not happening. Let's have a light show. Woo! Loving it, guys. Loving the light show. This top speaker's doing nothing, but I suppose it is ultimately bringing the hype that the party needs. Because music brings hype, man. Right. Time is running a little low. Let's let this party run its course, I suppose. Nope. There's lights to be had. There we go. Let's build some hype before the party runs its course. See all those people still outside, that missed opportunity. Just because I don't have the right members of staff. So weirdly enough, there is that kind of element of luck of the draws to which staff you get at the start. I could have just brought a whole ton of people into my second party. That was not a very profitable party. I don't think I made much money there. I guess I covered the cost of the speaker. Yeah, I made $200, there you go. But 20 people turned up, 10 were thrilled, 4 enjoyed it, only 6 left disappointed. So we got a lot of Facebook likes there on our Party Hard Facebook page. And we leveled up twice. Good. Choose your upgrade. So we can have a beer-themed festival. A cop, who would be a member of staff. He kicks alerted haters the hell out. Honestly, I've not really found a lot of use for him. I'm not quite sure what he's for. Maybe he's more useful later on. Or we can have an alien-themed one. So I would have preferred more characters than themes, but sure, let's take the beer party. Okay. And any more stuff? No, we have a punk theme. We have a ryokan or punk rock. Definitely punk rock. So I don't get any staff. Again, there's random elements to this. It would be nice to be able to actually bring 3 staff for my staff slots. But you can now see on the overall map, hey, we've got some fans over here that we didn't have before. I mean, our initial fans were all gathered around this territory, which maybe House for Rent would have been a better place to host it, because people that know us would come here. But out here in the squat, we're earning more fans out in this kind of end of the town now. So we have 52 fans. We gained 6 from the last party. Woo! Yeah, you can see well, country house is fairly cheap when you get fairly early on. You get an old dwelling. I'll start to pick up more things. It kind of only shows the color quality. I'm not sure if there's a way to toggle to see what venues are available on a sort of a blue day. I suppose no immediate harm in just sort of fast forwarding through. So there we go. Now it's a blue day. There we go. So you can see the kind of venues that are basically a tier 2 venue. They cost a lot more. They cost considerably more. So you should probably be bringing in a fair bit of money out of these standard events before you can even contemplate and probably have some fairly affluent sort of blue level fans, maybe some yellow level fans before you start thinking about throwing parties here. Obviously, you have access to them early on, but they're probably going to be a bit out of your price range at this point. So I mean, I could throw a party in a dorm. There's plenty of people live in that territory. There's 30 of my green fans live in the dorm territory for 6,000. I would have to, invest in it to get it out. But if I had unlocked the dorm by now, that might not be the worst place to throw a party. So yeah, that's kind of that is it for certainly this kind of early game loop. I have no idea where this game goes from here. It just feels, it does still feel a lot like a level designer with a progression mechanic stuck on top of it. It's just a bit level designer with a bit of gamification is what it is right now. It's an interesting take on Party Hard. It's a weird take on Party Hard. I don't quite know what to make of it. I mean, it's neat, but for a game that, up to now has been entirely based around murder and murder simulation, it's just a strange direction to take things. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this just because, again, I still love the Party Hard theme. I love the soundtrack. I love the whole design of this has always been very good. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this, much as I will be Party Hard 2 for the foreseeable future. If there are any major updates, I'll definitely be showing them off. But for now, thank you very much for joining me. This is Party Hard Tycoon! And hey, I've got notifications up here. I didn't even realize that. There we go, that's what that was about. Oh, never knew. There's a new party in the squad. Wow. Please don't take my blood. That was the comment that I got when the vampire was serving things. I don't know. Are these basically comments we're getting on our Facebook fan page wall thing? Is that what that is? Someone commenting that? It kind of seems like it. I don't know, but then you got things down there. I don't know. It certainly needs fleshing out a bit. It certainly needs a bit of polish. It needs there's work to be done, no doubt. This is, as I say, very, very early on. But at any rate, yes, thank you for joining me. This has been Party Hard Tycoon. I've been Meroka, and I will see you next time.